What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Killstreaks and Kickoffs Podcast with yours truly, Sam, Ruby, LOL, Rubix. I am here bringing you guys episode 12, I believe, of the podcast. Very excited to be bringing it to you guys. We're going to be focusing specifically on CDL this week and specifically the CDL matches that occurred this past weekend. And then, of course, that are going to be happening this weekend, or I guess today, as the time I'll be uploading this, starting this Friday. Right after this episode goes up. So we're going to be discussing that, giving our predictions. We'll be joined by Drew again this week to highlight all those matches. There was a lot of good ones, so we will definitely be getting into that for sure. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit shorter, obviously, because as well, like I said, we only have CDL to cover. So just focusing strictly on CDL this episode. We will get into everything, of course. Make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify if you are not already, or if you would prefer to listen rather than watch here on YouTube. It's just Killstreaks and Kickoffs Podcast on Spotify. Of course, as you know, linked in the description below alongside all other socials. I really appreciate you supporting me in any way possible. And go on ahead and drop a like as well before you watch the video. I appreciate that. Also, but yeah, let's get right into this. Alrighty, we are back this week for another CDL episode, CDL specific today. We are back with Drew, of course. How we doing today, Drew?
Doing pretty good. Hoping to lock in a little bit,
Yeah,
talk some Kyle.
yeah. Matches are back. That's good. I don't know that we had too interesting of a weekend, first weekend back, but we'll hop into everything. There were a couple interesting matches, a little bit of surprises, so we'll get there when we get there. But we're going to kick it off here, not with the Thieves match. I'm going to jump back over real quick and touch on the only roster change, really, that is kind of relevant. We know Falcons is interchanging players left and right every single day, so I don't know what the hell they're doing right now. But as for one that was actually announced, LAG dropped Priesta or benched him. I don't know. They probably just benched him. I don't think they fully cut his contract or anything. But bench Priesta and bringing in Lunars out of Challengers. He's one of the better ARs in Challengers as of late in terms of placements and just the talent that they've kind of been seeing from
What
him.
is up with these profile pictures, bro?
There's a little gym flick.
He ain't hitting the gym in that. Not a drop of sweat on that forehead. The chain out.
Yeah.
Bro ain't doing shit.
Well, I mean, last week we were judging talent based off of the Twitter profile picture, and Neptune came out and fried. So maybe
this is a catfish, by the way. Look at that picture versus what the fuck I'm seeing in the profile picture. I can't do it anymore, bro. That's not the same person. That's AI.
No, it's not.
But I'm
this picture is from when he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And they're using that shit. But yeah, either way, I don't know. I don't know if this will be the exact fix LAG needs, or if this will be the only fix that they need all year. But I mean, he has been good. I think a two-man change probably would have been best case scenario for LAG, but I understand you don't want to hop in, rush into anything. I have written down here just some of my ideas. I thought potentially Lunars and Hook really should have been on this team for Priesta and somebody else, either Lins or Skies, and moving Kismet to the flex. But I mean,
wait, Sam.
What?
What did you say? A what change? You wanted them to run a two-man on this team?
Yeah, I wanted Hook and Lunars to run a two-man on the LAG Gorillas.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't expect them to make a two-man change. I think that they're probably not going to drop Lins just because of French ownership of the team and Gentlemates now. So they kind of want to have at least one guy in there, and they're not going to get rid of him.
Lins is good.
Yeah, and I mean he's not been playing bad. So
it's Skies. If it's gonna be something else, it's gonna be Skies.
Yeah, I agree.
But as of my input, yeah, I gotta hone in the profile picture skills. So I'm kind of debating what I'm gonna do this week with LAG. If I double down back on the cringe profile pictures and them losing, or if Neptune swayed me. So we'll see.
Oh yeah, we'll get to their matches. I think they play twice this weekend, so we'll see. But that's the big change in LAG. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention before we actually got into the matches was for some reason, and I saw this tweet today as I was doing notes for this podcast. The COD League tweeted out the official bracket for Minor Tournament 2, and this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's based off of like just overall CDL points. So whoever has the first, obviously Atlanta FaZe won the major, so they have the most right now. And then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, getting a bye, and then obviously the rest, just like it worked last tournament. But I don't know why this is out already. I don't know why, because there are some teams that could still jump or some teams that could fall depending on what happens this weekend. So I don't know why they're pre-announcing it and cutting off the points after this, unless the points are based off of post-Major 1 and not factoring in last week, and they just strictly wanted the Major 1 land to basically seed the Minor 2 tournament. I don't know, but I just didn't think that made a whole lot of sense. But I don't know. I figured that was something worth mentioning. I don't have it.
You gotta love that OPTIC poll.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're an OPTIC fan,
it's a
and
free win.
Thieves has a nice red carpet to the championship.
Yeah. I mean, Falcons is a free win, so I mean, sliding in at the 5 seed is like pretty much ideal. And then
if you're OPTIC, you wanna play I feel like you want to play Ultra over FaZe, Thieves, Ravens, or any of them.
yeah, I mean, you get to play the effective 4 seed, and Toronto Ultra is looking like a beatable team right now, depending on how OPTIC's looking after this weekend. And I mean, you really won't be able to take how they're looking against Falcons in round 1 for anything. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting why they did that. I don't know, but I just wanted to note that because we will do next weekend. We'll probably do like a bracket fill out, or before next weekend, we'll do a bracket and see. But this is the bracket that we will be working with. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about beforehand. Let's get right into the matches though. Moving forward, we got day 1. LA Thieves came out and stomped Carolina just like they did on LAN. I know we were a little shaky when picking this one. We weren't exactly sure what the storyline for each of these teams was going to be coming out or coming into online play, I guess. But man, talent diff here from LA Thieves. Pretty much a green carpet from Thieves aside from Envoy. Just playing his role there. Of course, it's pretty standard. This Thieves team I think is really scary. Just with the way that they've been playing. So I mean, yeah, there's not much else to say in a 3-0 for that, other than it was also, I wrote this down because Envoy was talking about it in the post-match interview. Gwyn dropping a 1.46, 38 and 26 map 1 while still getting beat by 100 was kind of crazy. So I don't know. I don't know if Carolina needs to clean up or Gwyn needs to stop kill whoring on Vault Hardpoint, but I thought that was interesting and worth noting. But yeah, like I said, I don't have anything. What were your thoughts on this?
I've been there. I'm not gonna I mean, yeah, it's a 3-0. I thought Ravens would lock in a little bit, but yeah, just Slamage. They've got their number. Not a team, if I'm Ravens, that I want to see. But I've been there before, like in rank play and stuff like that. Where like there's got that one person on your team that's just like, I'm frying, and they're just getting like I mean, I don't know about meaningless picks, but yeah, kind of meaningless picks where it's like I'm going nuts on like these like same 2 guys while the rest of your team's just getting farmed
Yeah.
in the back. Like you're just stuck. You need them to peel off and help you and get you out. But I've been there before. It's like I've been that person. I've been the people getting slammed. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like him to peel back and help his boys out.
Yeah, I mean, it's saying something. Even Slasher, I mean, somehow Slasher is like decently positive in this map too. I don't know. They got to figure something out if you've got 2 guys at least going positive. TJ relatively near, and you're still getting beat by 100. Something's up with.
Slasher, go to overview.
Slasher was even on the
Yeah,
series.
I mean it's just vivid. Like
Yeah.
we've talked
Yeah,
about this
bad
before.
series from Vivid for sure. But
Horrible. Like you're playing a 3v4.
I mean, maybe that eye started sealing back up again or something.
I don't know. But he need to lock in.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess one thing I'll mention before I move on, they did get an S&D win, which is a rare W there for LA Thieves. I know they didn't get it done against Vegas. We'll talk about that when we get there, but rare S&D win for Thieves, so that's a bright spot in this series for them at least. But let's move on to the next one. Next match of day one this weekend was Boston Breach versus the Vegas Falcons. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here.
Nope.
Um, Vegas Falcons
Next.
is a free win, man. I don't think they're gonna win a series all year. To be completely honest, if they do, it'll have to be like a 3-2 Neslo, winning both searches in the control. So I mean, there's nothing you can take away. Cammy played insane. There's not much merit to that though, unfortunately, and it's sad that we have to think of it like that, but it just is what it is. But yeah, let's move on to the next match, the final match of day one, and this was very surprising. I did not expect Atlanta FaZe to come out and get slammed like this, 3-1 fashion. Kind of squeaked out the first hard point, but then since there, it was pretty much Vancouver Surge for the rest of the series, man. Nasty was shooting like prime formal in this one. Drops a 1.42 on the series. Paz 29 kills over the course of this series here. So he looked insane. Neptune, though, also looked really great. Dropped a 1.11. He was just flying around the map in this series. Pretty much exactly what Vancouver Surge needed here. I'll talk about it a little bit more, I think, in my notes for the next match. But Vancouver Surge looked really good. This roster definitely looks better. I think that Neptune was a good change for the pacing of this team in general here in this one. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, great win from Vancouver. That's kind of a season-changing win.
Yeah.
Neptune, I was wrong. I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game. But yeah, it wasn't even close after that first game.
No, it was not.
First match.
I mean, Search 6-4 round 10, but I mean, they didn't bring it
Mm-mm.
to round 11 or anything or let them come back. And then the control was a slammage, hardpoint was a slammage. So great series from Vancouver Surge. As for FaZe, though, I mean, as we saw the next day, they handled OPTIC well, which we'll get to. So I'm really not worried about FaZe per se.
Me neither.
Um,
We called it. Or
yeah,
I mentioned that like you knew there was gonna be a face hangover a
yeah,
little bit. Like I think they do that a lot. But Neptune, SMG player, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, he was SMG, and I mean, you get thrown against these dogs. Like I mean, you're gonna get Hydra eventually, but like you get thrown against Simp and Abizi in your first match
hmm
in the big leagues. Like you got thrown to the wolves, and he handled his own. It's got to be a good sign.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I think FaZe just kind of played down a little bit here to the competition, but Vancouver Surge definitely played up to FaZe as well. So not to discredit them there, but that's a great series win for them, and I agree with you. Yeah, that like stuff like that is what can be season changing for sure. Even if it is just an online match. But let's move on to day two here. We've got LAG versus the Boston Breach, and yeah, this is a Boston Neslo here. They win both searches and the control to take the dub. I mean, really could have been a 3-0 though. LAG squeaked out that map 1 by 2. So if Breach came out on top, that would have been a 3-0. We would have been talking about this a little bit differently, for sure. But I think this was kind of just the nail in the coffin for the LAGs to propel them to make that roster change, picking up Lunars. It was their only match of the weekend, so it was the only thing you kind of had to work on. But better to do it and act on it. Just give it a test in one match, see if things had changed, and they kind of just looked like they were dealing with the same issues that they have been all year. So it was like, okay, nothing's really changed here. Let's do something about it. But yeah, I mean, especially because I mean, Kiz is dropping a 1.2 on the series. Granted, they did win both of the hard points, but still, I mean, that's a long series to still be maintaining a 1.2 for the L. It's just not a good look, and you got to make a change there. But yeah, nice series from Snoop. Aside from that, I didn't have a whole lot. What'd you think here?
I think that might be it for P Dog.
Yeah,
Um, Dropped from subliners and then bounced around a little bit, and then you get this opportunity for beginning of the season. I think that's wraps. And then Breach, like I said, they doing it again. Um, just online demons. you don't want to see them online. You see that 2-0, but it's just funny, man. I played Genomates and Falcons, handle business, but man, they'll squeak out a win against some good team and he's seated highly going into a LAN. So they're doing their thing once again.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like let's go back to this bracket here. Okay, I guess they're eighth. But still, I mean that qualifies you for champs. Like these cats can walk in, do nothing at majors, and have insane online stages and probably qualify for champs. So, um, yeah, I mean they're so far from what we've seen from them, they are online merchants for sure, and they're definitely showing it this weekend here. Start off 2-0 on the weekend, so I guess good for them, man. But they're gonna get done against LAGs and inevitably force the roster change from them. But that's all I got for that series. Let's jump to the next one here. We've got ROKKR taking down Miami. This was a really clean weekend from ROKKR. They start off 2-0 as well, and they were kind of the opposite of Breach, like we were just talking about. They really couldn't get it done online, except for bar the minor one tournament. They might just be tournament reapers because they looked decent on land and decent in that tournament. And aside from that, they haven't been making a whole lot of noise, but it's a great start for them this weekend, contrary to what we've been seeing from them in the last online stage of regular season matches. Here they get it done.
Could have been a 3-0.
Yeah,
Could
could have
have
been a
been a 3-0
3-0.
game too.
Same. Miami squeaks out a hard point win, and that was, I want to say, yeah, Real and Rancor were just putting on an absolute clinic in that one. So I mean, yeah, Real goes 42-34 for the dub there. So I mean, if that doesn't happen, I think this is like a 3-0 instead of a 3-1, but nonetheless still really clean from them. That's good to see from them as well because they had been in stage one really squeaking out wins, squeaking out 3-2 series for the win match or for the series that they were winning, and so this weekend they win 3-1 and then obviously beat OPTIC 3-0 in the next match that we'll get to from them, but had really clean weekend. And Nero was just on fire this weekend. Drops a 1.27 on this series, positive 21. This was one of the best weekends I've seen from Nero specifically in a while. But ROKKR was shooting here in this one for sure. What'd you think?
I think we called it. I think I laid it out exactly how it went. Was just Heretics didn't win the major, but hangover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like not a home crowd. Just overperformed in my opinion at the major. And this ROKKR team is good. If you don't come out and play good against this ROKKR team, as we see from OPTIC, you get handled. So yeah, no, ROKKR looked really good. I feel like they were one of my stock rising on
Yeah.
the weekend.
The
For
stock
sure.
is definitely rising up for them for sure. But yeah, ROKKR gets it done there against Miami 3-1. Let's move on though to probably the most anticipated match of the weekend and the most anticlimactic match of the weekend in reality here. Atlanta FaZe walk in and take OPTIC for a little dog walk. They beat them 3-0 here in this one. Really wasn't close. None of these maps. I mean, OPTIC at least looked relatively competitive in the hard point, but they got their shit slammed in the control, and I mean the search and destroy wasn't really close a whole lot either. So yeah, they looked very rough in this series for sure. I don't think it was really a surprise we called this. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this day too. Everything that we've been talking about, we did go 4-for-4 on this one. This was our only 4-for-4 day. I know we said that we were going to give you guys the exact script, but I think there was some match fixing going on after they heard our predictions and pulled some strings and made some people win and lose. But they didn't touch this day, so we went for 4-for-4 on this one. But yeah,
No, this OPTIC
anyways.
game is so bad that they couldn't fix this shit. They told Kenny to wake the fuck up, and my brother was sleeping. Yeah, this is my thoughts are good team versus bad team right now, and Slammage, and I guess I'll hold the rest of my OPTIC thoughts. I mean, FaZe is a good team. They just won the major. I don't have any thoughts there, and I'll hold my OPTIC thoughts until they lose a fucking bad one on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll touch more on it a little bit. I've got more notes about OPTIC's match against ROKKR relating to them
But
when
I
we
mean,
get there.
holy shit, Dashy.
I mean, dude, both of them, both the ARs just looked really, really bad in this series specifically. I notated that Dashy didn't look great either. Just yeah, this one wasn't solely on Kenny for sure, like a lot of fans would like to say. But and actually, what was funny that I have notated here is that Pred was actually the best player on the team, which is probably who we were concerned about the most. You know, obviously coming back from probably not playing the game for a while. For his first game back here, he did the best here on this team. So
In both games
yeah,
on both matches a weekend.
yeah.
And it literally is. They're like everybody was just talking. Why drop Hook? Why drop Hook? And then Pred fills in his spot, does the exact same thing. Where it's like they just look like their best player.
hmm
So maybe there's a bigger issue.
Maybe, maybe.
So,
But yeah, no. Again, no. This is the one that doesn't concern me as much for OPTIC because FaZe is a really good team. Celium and Draza and Simp all frying 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So I mean, they just got beat by a team that's clearly better than them right now. Not much else to say there. But let's move on to the last match of day 2 here. Cloud9 gets it done against Toronto here. We did call Cloud9 winning this. I think we called it in 3-2 fashion, though. I did not expect a 3-0 Cloud9 to just go out and pretty much hand it to him here. Hardpoint was probably the most competitive, but it wasn't too close. And then slammed him in the search, slammed him in the control. Really great series here from Cloud9. You've got to be feeling on Cloud9 if you're them after this one, because Toronto Ultra is a good squad for sure. So I was really impressed with them. I don't think this team is as cooked as we thought initially. Sib is kind of starting to play like he has the past 3 years, at least at LAN and in this match specifically, for sure. So I mean, he's definitely stepped it up. I just hope that they don't get complacent, here with a couple W's, maybe a couple online W's as we move forward with this, and then be hesitant to make a change that is needed if things go south again. It's like if they start to go up and then they go south again, and then they're hesitant to make a change. I hope they don't fall into that trap. But I'm optimistic about them a little bit more than I was. But you were given thumbs down, Drew. Do you disagree?
thumbs down on the pun you hit.
Oh.
No, this was a snooze fest. We turned on the dunk contest. In that last map,
Yeah.
they just handled them. It was not. I mean, yep, that's how it goes. And was it a red carpet for
I
Ultra?
think so. No, Joe Deceives. Joe Deceives has been frying, but aside from him.
They always have somebody that goes positive,
Yeah.
which is fun. But yeah, no, Cloud9 looked good. I was never too concerned about this team. They looked bad. They had looked bad, but I was a believer. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm a Cloud9 optimist right now for sure. And yeah, attached maybe in the league a little bit longer if they keep playing like this. But okay, well, Cloud9 gets it done against Toronto there. Great win for them, like we said. But let's move on to the final day of matches here. Kicking it off with, again, another Falcons L here against the Los Angeles Thieves. A talent diff seems to be the common theme here with a lot of these Thieves matches because I think they are one of the best teams, if not one of the best teams, if not the best team. Next to Atlanta FaZe there. Um, for I did write this down for whatever reason, and all of these Falcons losses, kind of like you said with Toronto, there is always somebody that is just like overwhelmingly positive in these matches, and the rest is just getting Kentucky fried. And yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like we thought it was. Well, I guess initially it was Kicks, and then it's been Xnid. King has had a couple of those, and now it's Doom. And I don't know what the hell they're doing if just one person is designatedly kill whoring the entire match, but yeah, we saw it again here for sure. So I don't know what the hell that means, but yeah, again, not gonna harp too much on it because we've already talked about it. Vegas Falcons aren't gonna win a match, though they did win the search and destroy against Thieves. So this was definitely a downer for the Thieves. You do not want to be
that should
losing
count as
search and
half an L.
destroys.
Should count as half an
Yeah,
L.
yeah,
It
like
should be 1.5 and 0.5 right
yeah,
now. This should be their
literally,
overall record.
literally.
If you lose a to Vegas Falcons, yep, it should count as a half a loss. Um, I honestly respect the frying, like one person frying
Yeah.
every time for Vegas because, like, I've been there. It's like, fuck it, we going. Like, am I going down with the ship? Hell no. Like, I'm keeping my spot in the league. It's kind of like, a bad player in the NBA, just like, I'm going to get my buckets. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
LaMelo Ball's going out there. He gets you 30.
Mhm.
He said, I mean, and they're losing by, I don't know if you saw a couple weeks back, Anthony Edwards was mad that he kept getting double teamed. And he said, screw it. I'm done passing. And then the
Mhm.
next night he went out and dropped 50 and they got smoked. That's kind of, it seems like what Vegas Falcons, somebody gets hot at the beginning of the game and said, hey, I know we're going to lose. This doesn't matter how I play. I'm going to get mine.
Yeah.
So I respect that.
I think you might be right because I mean all these guys are shooters. Like at the end of the day, they're shooters. They're the best mechanically talented guys out of the Middle East or wherever the hell Saudi Arabia. I don't know where Falcons is exactly based out of, but they're the best guys out of that region mechanically. So all these guys can shoot, and if you can shoot, you can kill whore. And so I think you're right, man. They're just taking turns kill whoring for the L. If they keep doing that, they're never gonna win. They're never gonna win a series.
Dude,
But
dude, Vegas is not in the Middle East.
oh shit! What? I did not know that.
That shit is on the West Coast, dude.
Yeah, that's all I've got to say. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
We don't. A lot of these matches just don't have. I mean, week by week, we just don't have too much to say about a lot of these
yeah,
matchups. I mean,
Vegas Falcons especially. There's just no point in touching more on them. We can say it over and over again every week that they're a free W, and it's not gonna make it any more or less true. So I mean, we'll move on there from that one. But moving on here to the second match here, we've got Toronto Ultra versus Carolina Royal Ravens. They win. Toronto Ultra gets the W 3-1 against Carolina. Man, slow start for Carolina. I think you called it. Little bit of a hangover from the major as well. Kind of
we
seeing
said
that.
we said that we can't. We knew coming into this match, one of these two teams is going to be 0
Yeah,
2 to start the
yeah,
weekend. We
yep,
called it.
yep.
And I think we had Ultra doing it, but we knew one of these good teams was going to be 0
Mhm,
2. So, yeah, that's rough for Ravens. But I thought, I mean, if you look at the scores, I mean, I know the protocol's a little bit farther away, but the protocol hardpoint, but I thought it was competitive. I don't know where you're at with the panic button on Ravens after these two games.
mhm.
But my hands are off. My hands are still on my head. Um, I'm not concerned. I think they'll lock in. I think TJ's definitely good at this game. He just had a rough weekend. So definitely nowhere near the panic button. It's funny Vivid went off, even though we were saying Vivid's
Yeah.
been struggling. Um, but man, Jodeci's been in his bag, man.
Oh, for
That
sure.
was a But we've also talked about this on this podcast. Joe Deceives, just good for him. Good for him. He did really well in the major. He was super good last year on LAT. So he's just cooking. This is his game. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm kind of right there with you in terms of the panic button. I mean, these guys played Thieves and Toronto, two very good rosters, and that's who they're 0-2 to right now. I don't know how we didn't read that. I mean, they had probably the hardest schedule, I guess, out of those guys. But yeah, like you said, we knew that somebody here that people weren't gonna expect were gonna be 0-2, just because that's how the weekend works, man. So, but they played two really great teams. You do need to be able to beat those top teams to be considered one. But I don't think you chalk everything, throw it out the window just because you lost two matches against them against those top teams on one weekend. So it's very fixable, and they'll bounce back. But I did
Yeah,
think this was
they gotta get right game on Saturday at 4:30.
they play
This upcoming week.
Carol or they play Vegas.
Mm-mm.
Wait, who do they got on Saturday?
They got another green
Oh
team.
shit! Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. We'll get there.
Right?
We'll get there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about them. Toronto, great bounce back win for them. To even it out and make it 1-1 on the weekend. But good for Toronto here. Yeah, Joe Deceives is just frying. But yeah, that's pretty much everything there for that one. Let's jump into the second to last match of the weekend here. Vancouver Surge, they're just looking strong, man. Granted, this was a pretty competitive series, 3-2. this honeymoon, if it is one, is continuing. We'll see how long it lasts, but Neptune is good, man. He gets the series MVP here in this one, drops 110 kills just flying around the map, most damage, 12k on his team. So, yeah, it just seems like the perfect change for Vancouver, in my opinion, man. You basically traded a slow sub in Hixie for a very fast sub in Neptune. I did have it written down. It makes me really think that Hook declined to play for these guys, because that is exactly what Hook is, but arguably better, and has shown that he can do it at the CDL level this year in this game. Makes me really think that they wanted Hook initially for this, but Hook probably didn't want to go there. I'm not sure reasoning behind it, or that's just my theory. I don't know how legitimate that is. But that's my thoughts on it. But yeah, this was the perfect change. Neptune was definitely the next best guy to get here in this roster, and this team is looking good. As for C9, again, I think I'm not too worried about them. This was a pretty competitive series against a very highly operating Vancouver Surge team at the moment, so I'm not too worried about them. But yeah, really good on Vancouver's end here to start the weekend off 2-0. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts. We'll just continue to the next
Mhm.
game. Kind of said what I want to say
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah, well, good for Vancouver, man. Love to see that. They're my sleeper, man. They were my sleeper since the beginning, and now it's finally coming to fruition. So I'm never wrong. Just early.
Always
Word,
early.
word to aches, for sure. But yeah, let's move on here to this OPTIC Texas versus Minnesota ROKKR match to end the weekend. And this one, I was a little bit more concerned about as OPTIC. I know we had them winning. I didn't expect them to get 3-0'd in this one at all. I thought at least they might lose like a 3-2. I thought they would take at least a couple maps, and they did not do that at all in this one. Minnesota ROKKR. Granted, they were relatively close maps. The hardpoint was competitive. The control was competitive. Granted, OPTIC threw that and got reverse sweeped for the L, but they were still competitive maps, and yeah, could have maybe gone different ways. But I mean, when you look at this, all of Minnesota ROKKR is positive, and when you've got Kenny dropping a .59 with 90 deaths in this series, it just really does not look good at all. That's not going to be acceptable for a guy like that, of Kenny's caliber on the team of the caliber of team that they are on and they want to be. Real quick before I go too deep into OPTIC, did want to say Minnesota ROKKR this weekend, like I said, looked super clean, looked super great. Great series from Nero again here, gets the match MVP. Pollux, though, man, really stepped up. So I wanted to congratulate him on that, because I know a lot of people were kind of calling, myself included, for Pollux to be out if there were a change made on this ROKKR team. He has really stepped up this weekend and showed that he belongs with these guys. So great series from Pollux, but I do want to go into OPTIC a little bit more, and then you can give your thoughts on it, see what you agree with, disagree with. In my opinion, as for this OPTIC team, I think everybody is kind of freaking the fuck out here with this all over Twitter. Kenny does not need to be dropped, does not need to be benched, in my opinion. He had a mid-major one stage, and take mid with a grain of salt. I mean, these guys online were like what, 6-1, 6-2, or 5-2. Online, so they looked good, online at the end of the day. But so Kenny wise, it was kind of mid. Granted, we'll give you that. And then he's had two bad online series to start off Major 2. But that does not warrant you to be dropped. Wait, what the hell?
Sorry,
No,
Noah.
Noah, you're fucking up the camera.
Sorry.
Okay. Anyways, that does not warrant Kenny to be dropped, in my opinion. I think Kenny literally turned this OPTIC franchise around in Call of Duty himself, brought a ring to the organization. He's had bad stages in the past before, not with OPTIC, but if you look back to Vanguard, he was one of the worst players in the league on that LA Thieves team when they won champs, Major 5 and then champs, and then that they made a role switch. Granted, I'm not calling for a role switch, but they made a lot of adjustments. That's just what I'm saying that OPTIC may need to do here. But they made adjustments and ended up winning champs with this roster, with Kenny looking amazing by the end of the year. So give the guy time. He's earned it. He brought a ring to this organization, and for people to be calling for his head after 2 losses of really, really bad series, I think it's a little bit ridiculous. Calm down. Let the guys figure it out. I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's acceptable, but I'm saying they deserve time to figure it out and learn and improve, in my opinion. But I don't know what you think about it.
Nah, you excusing that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My thoughts on this series is that I think it was gonna, like we said, it was gonna go game 5, and it was gonna be everybody freaking out last map on Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, I think they do that. I think they do that if they just win one more round of control. I
Yeah.
don't know how it goes, but like I think they would win that hard point. I am nervous though.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
didn't say you said two bad series. That he did not look good on LAN either.
No.
Um, and when that like the things that scare me, I'll go in order. Is that like that reverse sweep? It felt like once they lost that like one round, it got ugly quick. Like they didn't even really have a chance in the fifth round, and of that control. And like, dude, when it gets bad, like their controls look bad.
Yeah.
Their controls do not look good. Um, they were competitive at least in this series. Got 3-0'd, but like, um, Pred looks good. He doesn't look like he's the issue. It's like the other guys. I mean, I don't know what to say. Dashy was, even, but it's starting to concern me a little bit. It's kind of like the whole who's is it Insight that's slow on
Yeah.
Ultra.
Yeah.
It's just like, is this game conducive to Dashy and Kenny's play style? Like they've always been known, especially Dashy's, just like iron up, just lay you out. Um
Well, let me
and
interject real quick. Dashy, yes, I agree, but Kenny, if you look at Kenny, the fool is dying 90 times in 3 maps, so he's playing like way too fast. He may be able to take something
yeah,
out of either Dashy's book or Insight's book.
well,
You know what I
well,
mean?
well, he they they abandoned he kind of abandoned the AR during some of the series, by the
Yeah.
way. I don't know if you noticed that, but like he picked up a SMG. He was running SMG for a while in this series, and 90 deaths, 16 more than anybody else on your team. There's an issue. It's not like it's the issue of everybody else where like they're getting spawn trapped that we've talked about in other games. It's just you
Hmm.
going in there and getting slammed over and over and over again. I'm not team drop him or anything. Obviously, you win a world championship, and the first weekend with that roster back together, you can't do anything crazy. But man, you drop a couple other .59s for next weekend and the weekend after that. It's
Yeah.
definitely the thought has leaked into my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think I would go. The thought's definitely leaked into my mind as well. If first thing I would do is if this is a recurring thing and we can't figure it out, maybe like a benching. I would not drop him. But I don't know. But yeah, like I said, with the 90 deaths, that's just insane. There's something completely wrong with the pace here. I think Aches mentioned it on the flank this past weekend. Kenny, a lot of times, and it's a common theme in a lot of these series, he like has these like stretches on maps where he just dies like 10 times in a row. So like going 0 for 10, 0 and 10, having a decent game, and then all of a sudden you just have that streak where he just gets in the absolute blender and is just running and dying, running and dying, running and dying over and over again. So I think they just need to like lock in, go to the lab, cut the bullshit, fix the pace, completely revamp the way you're playing. Um, Call whatever gods you called when you won champs in 2021 or 22, whenever Vanguard was. Phone those guys up again. Do whatever juju you need to do. And I think they should give him a little bit of time to do that at least. We'll see if that actually happens or if he's actually able to turn it around. But not,
That's the weird part. What you mentioned, that's the weird part to me as well, is that like he just goes on these 0 and 10, like these huge streaks of just dead.
yeah.
And whenever you get in these slumps, like you can see it even in pro players, like when you get in these streaks of like 4 deaths in a row, you kind of just play for the guarantee.
Hmm.
The one guarantee, a lot of the time they'll just play for that. Hey, I'm gonna get a pick here.
Yeah.
Just get it. You see one go through the basket, and he's just not doing that right
No, he's
now.
not.
He
No.
I mean, it feels like he, goes 0 and 4, and then instead of just seeing, getting to the free throw line, getting him a layup,
Hmm.
he'd be pulling up for three.
Yep.
It's like, don't take that chow if you're getting slammed.
Yep.
So that's the weird part to me is like he's not playing COD and it makes me think he's in his own head.
I
So we'll
agree.
see.
I agree. We will see. We will see indeed. Definitely looking forward to see how if they make any adjustments this week or whatnot. But let's look ahead towards this week here, or towards this weekend. Jumping into week 2. Let's remind me to save these so we can get our points and come back and look at these. I'm gonna try to remember myself as well. But
I got you.
for day 1 here, were you saying anything?
I said I got you. I'll
Okay.
remember.
All right. Day 1. Carolina Royal Ravens versus Minnesota ROKKR. I personally have ROKKR in this one. I think they've looked good. Carolina's still in a slump. I think ROKKR continues to fry. I got him 3-1. What about you?
Yeah, let's go. I'm cool with that. Man, that's tough for Ravens to be 0-3.
I know, but I could see it. I mean,
Um,
they're playing 3 really good teams right now, at least, to kick it off.
Rocker's hot. Rocker's
Yeah,
hot.
it
So
sucks
yeah,
for Carolina. They really sucked out with how they're starting off, but I think that's just how it goes for that
that
one.
could very. I want to say that series could easily be 3-1, 3-0 Ravens too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Um, that's a very swing, but I see what you're saying. Rocker stays hot on respawns, and Ravens gets themselves S&D.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Okay. Well, there's that one, and then moving on to LAG versus the Miami Heretics here. For this one, I think Lunars is good. I think he'll be a good fit for this team, and I'm also just not a Miami believer, man. Aside from Real, I'm not a fan of them. I think it was home major buff there to them. I'm kind of in your boat with that. I'm gonna go LAG here. I don't know if this is the right pick, but that's what I wrote down was LAG 3-2. What do you think about that?
I'm gonna go with never wrong, just early. And I think that new guy comes in with a weird profile picture and he stinks again. And I would personally pick Heretics.
You think?
But
Okay.
yeah, I think they had the hangover last weekend. I think it's a get right against this just weird Sky stinks. Kismet's fine, but like I think Heretics gets right there, but you can go with that one
No,
and maybe I'll get
no, no,
one
no. It's
later.
okay. I'll let you have this one because we gotta test out the Twitter profile picture theory and double down on it. See if it's legit or not.
I'm doubling down.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
putting it all right. I'm going. I just lost it all in black. I'm coming back.
Okay. Okay.
Double as much.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, we'll go Miami there then. In that one, and then day 3, we've got Cloud9 versus Falcons. Not gonna talk about this one at all. Cloud9 3-0. Falcons equals free win. I'm sure you're in agreement there. Day 2, moving on here, we've got Miami versus Atlanta FaZe. I'm gonna go Atlanta FaZe here in this one. And kind of put the put that one out there. I think
3-0.
yeah, the Atlanta FaZe is just gonna diff Miami here. Like I said, I'm not personally a Miami believer, but honestly, unless FaZe starts losing every single match going forward, I'm gonna pick them every time this stage to win at least in online play.
I think
Um,
that makes that game right there makes me feel better about my Miami pick on Friday
yeah,
because yeah, like Miami just gets one. They're like, we really got to lock in on this one because we got the big dogs tomorrow.
yeah,
We ain't
right,
going that
right,
one.
right.
Yep.
Okay, well, yeah, FaZe 3-0 there against Miami. Let's move on here to OPTIC versus Carolina. Um, I mean, man, with what we've seen, I gotta go Carolina here in this one, man. At least Carolina was able. I know they're 0-2, or I guess 0-3 at this point in time. Um, I know they're 0-3, but at least they were able to win a map last weekend. Optic wasn't able to win
Wait
a
a
single one.
wait a minute. Let's just take us through the situation, okay? So it's Saturday. We're opening Twitter about 6 p.m. Okay. Which situation is more likely? The sky is falling. Breaking Point's tweeting, "Oh yikes!" And the burners are going nuts. Everybody's calling for Kenny's head. Sky's falling in Optic Land, or hey, or hey, they figured it out. We told y'all, TJ has a bad series. They locked in. Which one do you think is more is more likely, and I think I've got my answer.
I think all hell breaking loose is more likely,
I
in my
I
opinion.
think all hell breaks loose on Saturday.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Carolina here. I wrote down 3-1 because I'd toss Optic a map against them, but I don't know. I'm good with
They're
whatever.
gonna get a map. They're not going out sad. They're
Yeah.
getting a map.
I think they grab like a hard pointer or maybe a I don't know. Carolina's search is pretty damn good, but maybe a control.
They'll
Um,
squeak out a hard point.
but yeah. So okay, we'll go Carolina 3-1 there. Vancouver versus LAG here. I'm gonna go Vancouver. It seems like you're gonna go them as well to continue the Twitter profile picture theory here. Like I said, man, my sleeper pick, my Vancouver Surge, they're panning out. They just needed to get rid of Hicksy, man. And they did that, and they're gonna be good. I think here in this one, at least against teams like LAG. Both teams got a new young guy in. But I think Vancouver's young guy is at least what we've seen against the best team in the game in FaZe. Their young guy in Neptune played really well there, so I think he handles LAG.
Profile picture off in this
It
game.
is, it is,
Uh-oh.
it is
Uh-oh.
it's the fuckboy off, Twitter AV. But yeah, I got Vancouver. You find with 3-2, or you think it'll be more of a blowout? I could see a 3-2. We don't have a whole
I could
lot of them.
see I could see 3-2. Yeah, we'll throw it 3-2.
Okay, and then last match of day 2, we've got Boston Breach versus the Toronto Ultra. I would go Toronto here. I wrote
Yep.
down I could see this one go either way, so I was gonna confer with you. Because I mean I know Boston Breach, they're the online Slayers. So I wouldn't be surprised if it goes that way, but I would give the benefit of the doubt to Toronto personally. Just because when they're on, they are on. It's just a matter of if they are on.
Let's go Toronto. I think Toronto is like they Toronto is a team that plays up to how like Toronto plays like Toronto always.
Mhm,
Jodeci, like I think they just know they're better than Breach,
mhm.
and like I don't see like I just think Ultra just handles them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go Toronto then. There, you find with 3-2. Another one. We'll have kind of a classic day of COD here.
Hmm.
Two map fives and an optic upset.
Yep.
Okay. So be looking for Saturday. We went 4 for 4 on it last
3
time. Huh?
3-0.
Oh yeah. For day 3, kicking it off.
Why
Minnesota
does it
ROKKR 3-0 here. I agree.
why doesn't it
Falcons.
just spawn with that on
I
there?
know.
I don't know why. I don't know why that's
You should
weird.
auto-populate it. I agree. Okay, and then moving on here to Toronto versus Thieves here. I'm gonna lean Thieves here 3-2. Maybe even more, honestly. I don't know what to do completely, but I feel a little bit more strongly about Thieves here in this one. I know it's about 50-50 with this one. I am more so leaning towards LA Thieves here,
3-1,
personally,
I
but what
think.
do you think?
3-1.
3-1 Thieves?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go 3-1 Thieves then in that one, and then wrapping it up here for the weekend, we've got Boston versus C9. I'm kind of a C9
Mm.
believer. As I'm sort of realizing as we go through the show, the more I see them, the more I believe. I think they're kind of starting to learn the game a little bit more. And Boston was very very ahead early on, and other teams are catching up to that, like Cloud9 here as they figure it out. Also, Boston's only wins so far online are against Falcons and LAG. So I mean, I think with the upward trend that Cloud9 is relatively on right now. I think they come in and handle Boston Breach here in this one. What do you think?
I could see that going the other way too. Breach is just some online friars. Like I said, I think I said it earlier when I was talking about them that they're gonna squeak out a win against somebody decent, like somebody good. Um, I think they're gonna get one of these Ultra or Cloud9s, but I'm not gonna pick them.
Okay.
Um, so I think this is a safer pick, but like I said, genuinely would be not surprised at all if they get one of these games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like a 3-2.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we are. There we are with the
Save,
picks.
save.
Oh yes. Well, yeah. There's our picks. We think we have them saved. We're recording this. And so if it didn't save, then this shit is busted and this website is broken. But that's pretty much everything wanted to cover here in this episode, man. Next week we will recap the matches that we are predicting right here. We'll look and see what happened, see how well we did, and analyze those matches, of course. I'm excited for these ones because we kind of have some. Week 1s are exciting just because the COD's back, but week 2s are like you kind of have an idea of what the storylines are going to be. So I'm excited to watch these for sure. In this one, and then we'll fill out a minor 2 bracket. Like I mentioned earlier, we will fill one out of this guy right here. I think this is going to be the final bracket. I don't know if they were just tweeting out this graphic just for the sake of it, but I'm pretty sure it seems like this is going to be the final bracket here. So we'll fill out one once it goes up live on the CDL Pick'em's website. Oh, is it already out? Oh, no, okay, it's not. But once it goes up there on the CDL website, should be up by next week. We'll go on ahead, fill out that bracket when we film the episode, and see how well we can do that on our March Madness shit. But yeah, man, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. Make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify if you want to listen to it. Killstreaks and Kickoffs Podcast. Follow all the socials linked next to the podcast in the description below. Drew, anything else?
Yeah, I mean, really quickly, there's no sports, so who is it? You, Ja, Zion, and Mac McClung next year for the dunk contest?
Yep,
is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, I will be participating. I thought I'd bring it out. Actually, I don't know if you saw the interview, but Mac McClung said he didn't rule it out entirely, but I know from an insider source I'm his replacement next year. So he's retiring after 3 wins. So I'm gonna actually replace him and go head to head with Zion, Ja, and I think Bron coming back just for that.
Really?
Yep. So
well, Giannis said he'd do it. So I guess it's you, Giannis, Ja, and maybe Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon said he has some interest too. So yeah, I mean that'll be star-studded. Like what are you planning on pulling out?
You just gotta have to wait and see, man. But I'm really excited to duke it out with those cats, man. I think it'll be a really good show for sure. I'm real excited for it. But you just gotta stay tuned.
That's all I got. That's all I got. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, everybody, hit that like button, comment something fun, hit that like, not dislike, upward facing thumbs.
Sam has to do the dunk contest in 2026 if Vegas Falcons wins a map or wins a match all year.
Yeah, okay, I'm down. I'm down to bet on that. Okay. All right, cool. Well, everybody, have a great weekend. Enjoy the matches, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Bury me now, and I only get bigger, that's word of my nigga. Yeah, October firm in the cut. Stay at the top like I'm stuck. It's time giving it up. She wanna get married tonight, but I can't take a knee, 'cause I'm wearing all white.